Welcome to the Ad Expert Podcast. Usually when we talk about opening a local business, there is this fundamental expectation of physical visibility.
Right, like having a literal storefront.
Exactly. You rent a
Tenant.
prime spot on a busy street, say right on Ventura Boulevard. You put a massive glowing open sign in the window, maybe throw a sandwich board on the sidewalk.
And you just watch the foot traffic roll in.
Yeah. The physical world just makes sense to us.
It's entirely tangible. You exist in a physical space, so people naturally see you as they walk by to get coffee or wait for the bus. It feels very straightforward.
But then you step into the world of digital local marketing, especially in a hyper-competitive market. And suddenly that physical storefront is practically invisible.
Completely invisible.
We're looking at a digital landscape where simply throwing a bunch of money at a virtual sign, well, it doesn't guarantee a single customer will walk through your door.
No, it really doesn't.
So today, we are taking a deep dive to crack the code on how local businesses can actually dominate these hyper-competitive markets. We're specifically zeroing in on Los Angeles today.
Which is about as competitive as it gets.
Oh, absolutely. And we're drawing insights from a newly published article from April 9, 2026 by Sam Ashrafi. It's titled, Mastering Local Search Ads in Competitive Cities.
Yeah, and Sam's perspective is built right in the trenches. I mean, he's the founder of Ad Expert, which is a Los Angeles-based online marketing and web development agency. They've got over a decade of experience doing this.
They are just theorizing, right? They're actually doing the work.
Exactly. They are deeply embedded in the LA market, operating out of their headquarters on Varial Avenue down in Woodland Hills.
Oh, wow. So they cover a huge area.
Massive. They serve businesses in Woodland Hills, Calabasas, Winnetka, Tarzana, Encino.
Basically the entire valley.
Pretty much. Plus Sherman Oaks, West Hills, Reseda, Burbank, and Van Nuys. They see the raw data on what actually makes a local customer click and convert. Oh, and by the way, if you're in those areas, you can reach them at 310-686-5354.
That's 310-686-5354.
Good to know. So for today's roadmap, we're really going to explore why throwing money at ads in a vacuum just doesn't work. We'll get into the mechanics of building local trust, and this is the wild part, how AI and data tracking are completely changing the game.
Okay, let's unpack this, because there is a massive misconception out there that I want to dismantle right away.
Oh, the silver bullet myth.
Yes. There's this idea among business owners that if you just, dump a few $1,000s into Google Ads, your phone is going to ring off the hook.
Right.
But Sam's core philosophy here is that paid ads alone are never enough.
The psychology behind that misconception is fascinating, actually, because, well, business owners naturally want a quick fix. You've got payroll to meet, overhead, you just want to buy customers.
Totally understandable.
It is. But we have to look at this from the search engine's perspective. Search engines like Google, they don't care about your overhead. They are entirely focused on the user experience.
Right.
So when someone in Sherman Oaks searches for, like, a transmission specialist, Google's only goal is to provide the most reliable, relevant result. A paid ad just buys you the opportunity to be seen in that split second.
It doesn't buy you trust.
Exactly. It absolutely does not buy you trust.
Yeah.
True success requires an entire ecosystem.
An ecosystem.
Yeah, like your paid ads working alongside your local SEO, making sure your business information is consistent across the web, having localized content. Combining ads with a strong SEO strategy increases your overall visibility and, crucially, lowers the competition pressure.
I'm struggling with that a bit, honestly.
Well-
Isn't local search ultimately just a bidding war?
A lot of people think that, yeah.
It feels like just buying an ad without doing the SEO or fixing your business info is like paying for a massive billboard to point people to a store that has no sign and the wrong address on the door.
Oh, that billboard analogy is spot on. It really gets to the heart of how the algorithm functions, because it is absolutely not a simple bidding war. Google actively penalizes advertisers who offer a poor user experience.
Wait, really? They penalize you?
Oh, yeah. Let's look at the mechanics. When Google evaluates your ad, it looks at your entire digital ecosystem. If your ad points to a messy digital presence, maybe your site takes 5 seconds to load, or your local SEO is non-existent, Google assigns you a lower quality score.
A lower quality score. And what does that actually mean for the business owner's wallet?
It means you pay more. A lot more. Google will charge you a higher cost per click than a competitor who bids less, but has a highly relevant, localized ecosystem.
Wow.
The algorithm essentially says, look, we don't trust that sending a user to your site will be a good experience. So if you want to force your way to the top of the page, you're going to pay a massive premium.
That's crazy. So you're literally paying a messy tax if your local SEO isn't dialed in.
A messy tax. I love that.
You're essentially funding your competitor's ad campaign because Google is fining you for being irrelevant.
That is a perfect way to phrase it. And that messy tax destroys local ad budgets. That's why this multi-step approach is so critical. Capturing both search and organic social traffic is what creates a sustainable local presence.
But getting them to trust you enough to not charge you that messy tag, well, that's only half the battle, right?
Right.
If outbidding your competitors isn't enough to win, how do you make a customer actually click your ad over the guy next door? The article makes it clear. The answer is building a hyper-local trust engine.
And in a city as saturated as LA, trust is the ultimate currency.
So what's the cornerstone of that trust engine?
It's the Google Business Profile, the GBP.
Okay.
A lot of business owners treat this like a digital Yellow Pages listing. They fill out their name, address, and phone number, what we call the NAP, and they never look at it again.
But the mechanics of trust require so much more than just filling out a form, don't they?
Significantly more. Think about how the algorithm actually verifies your information. Google's bots are constantly scraping the entire internet. They're looking at local directories, social media, Chamber of Commerce sites.
Looking for consistency.
Exactly. They want a cohesive digital fingerprint. If your Google Business Profile says your bakery is on Ventura Boulevard, but some old, forgotten Yelp page says you're on Sunset Boulevard, the algorithm encounters a discrepancy.
And algorithms hate discrepancy.
They do. When an algorithm gets confused, it loses trust. It'll hesitate to show your ad or your profile to a searcher because it isn't 100% sure where you actually are.
That makes total sense. So consistency is just the baseline.
Right, the absolute bare minimum.
But then there's the active engagement side. The material points out that you had to add photos, post frequent updates, and actively ask for reviews.
Yes, engagement is huge.
It talks heavily about social proof tactics, too, like highlighting your GBP star ratings directly on your ads or sharing testimonials on social media.
And utilizing case studies to show real results. Plus, AdExpert has a really precise copywriting approach here. They ensure that all the content meets Google's algorithm requirements by using semantic keywords while still keeping it engaging for humans.
Wait, let's break down semantic keywords for a second.
Sure.
Because that sounds like marketer jargon for just stuffing the word plumber into a paragraph 20 times.
It's actually the exact opposite of keyword stuffing. Keyword stuffing is super outdated and will definitely get you penalized today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Semantic keywords are about context. The algorithm has evolved to understand natural human language patterns. It knows that if you are a legitimate mechanic, you aren't just going to repeat the word mechanic over and over.
Right, you'd sound like a robot.
Exactly. You're going to use related concepts organically, words like brake repair, fluid flush, ACE certified, and Los Angeles. By weaving those naturally into your copy, you are teaching the algorithm the depth and context of your expertise.
I see. You're proving you belong in the category by using the vocabulary of the category.
Precise.
But let me push back on the case studies and social proof element for a moment.
Okay, go for it.
Do case studies really matter for a local plumber or a neighborhood flower shop? Or is that just corporate jargon? Like if my sink is leaking at 2 in the morning and water is ruining my hardwood floors, I'm not reading a 10-page white paper on pipe integrity. I'm just calling the first guy with 5 stars.
That is a very fair point. And it requires us to define what a case study actually looks like in a local context.
Okay.
You're right. The 2 a.m. emergency searcher operates entirely on impulse and proximity. They just need immediate help. But the local market isn't just emergencies. What about a homeowner looking for a complete $15,000 bathroom remodel?
The buying cycle for that is completely different.
It is. Or a commercial building needing a new roof. For those high-value local services, a case study doesn't mean a corporate white paper.
What does it look like then?
It might simply be a dedicated page on your website with a before and after photo gallery. And maybe a short, engaging paragraph explaining how you solved a specific neighborhood's hard water problem. It's contextual proof.
So it's about matching the evidence to the level of the investment.
Yes. In competitive cities, good reviews and documented case studies directly boost your credibility. It makes your local SEO efforts even stronger and turns passive searchers into actual phone calls.
Which brings us to the most critical point of failure for so many local campaigns. Let's say you've done everything right up to this point. You built the trust engine, you avoided the messy tax, you got the 5 stars, and you actually won the click.
The holy grail.
Right. But where does the user actually end up? Because if they click that beautifully optimized ad and land on a confusing website, you haven't just lost a customer. The algorithm is going to punish you.
This is the phase of the campaign where businesses either succeed brilliantly or fail spectacularly. It is all about hyper-local targeting and landing page alignment.
The roadmap here is pretty rigorous. Ads must focus on specific locations using Google Keyword Planner. Your headlines and ad copy must feature localized content, like actually mentioning the specific city or neighborhood.
Yep.
But the landing page itself is where the magic happens, right?
Yeah.
It must match the ad content exactly, highlight the specific services, feature a clear call to action, and it absolutely must be mobile-friendly.
You have to view the user journey as a single, unbroken chain. Every step must be a logical, seamless continuation of the previous one.
Right. So if the ad and landing page don't match, it's basically a digital bait and switch. Like clicking an ad for Burbank Emergency Plumber and landing on a generic homepage that only talks about roof repair in another state.
Oh, people hate that.
They're hitting the back button instantly.
And that back button action is a measurable metric called a bounce.
Okay.
When a user bounces immediately, the mechanical gears of the ad platform start turning against you. Google actively tracks the time between the click and the return to the search results.
So they know if you hated the result.
Exactly. If people consistently click your ad and leave your site within 3 seconds, Google's algorithm concludes that your landing page is entirely irrelevant to the search query.
And boom, there's the messy tax again.
Exactly. Your quality score drops, your cost per click skyrockets, and your ad visibility just plummets.
Wow.
But let's look at the reverse. Matching the ad to the landing page improves ad relevance in Google's eyes. When the Burbank Emergency Plumber ad goes to a page that says 247 plumbers in Burbank, call now, your relevance scores go through the roof.
Which means more conversions.
Yes, it significantly increases conversion rates and ultimately lowers your ad spend waste. You're ensuring you don't pay for clicks that immediately bounce.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, though. Everything we've talked about so far sounds like setting up a really sturdy foundation.
Yeah,
But the local market in LA is not static. It changes daily, sometimes hourly. Competitors change their bids, seasons change, search trends shift based on the weather or local events. So having a good ad and a solid landing page is clearly not a set it and forget it task.
Not even close. If you set it and forget it in a competitive market, you will be outbid and outmaneuvered within a week. This is where we transition from basic algorithmic mechanics to advanced real-time strategy.
The ad expert methodology relies heavily on real-time marketing insights. They mandate live tracking and reporting across all channels: social media, email, paid ads, website analytics.
You have to monitor everything.
But the part that really caught my eye is the continuous A/B testing. We hear that term a lot, but how does it actually play out on, say, a random Tuesday afternoon?
Well, continuous A/B testing is mandatory because you can never rely on your gut feeling. Let's say you're running 2 ads. Ad A's headline says, Affordable Plumber LA, and Ad B says, 247 Emergency Plumber LA.
Okay.
You test different headlines, ad copy, ad extensions. The data might show that Ad A gets more clicks at 2:00 p.m., but Ad B gets a massive surge in actual phone calls at 11:00 p.m.
Because the intent of the searcher changes based on the time of day. A plumbing search at 2 p.m. might be planning a renovation, but at 11 p.m. it is definitely a crisis.
Exactly. So continuous A/B testing means you adjust your ad scheduling to show at peak times. You allocate your budget so the affordable ad runs during business hours, and the emergency ad dominates the late-night bids.
That requires processing a sheer volume of data that's got to be impossible for a human to manage manually in real time.
And that brings us to the introduction of innovative AI solutions. To handle this massive data processing, AidExpert utilizes AI-powered customer targeting, personalized campaigns, and advanced analytics.
The material specifically mentions Ehsan Nabovadi, right?
Yeah.
They're SEO and professional analytics expert.
Yes, Ehsan is brilliant at this. His focus is on combining past data with real-time competitor analysis to build these incredibly tailored strategies. The integration of AI into local search is fundamentally changing things.
I have a serious concern here, though.
Okay, what is it?
If AI is doing all this hyper-personalized targeting and analytics, what happens to the human element? Are we just letting the machines run our local neighborhood marketing? If the machine does the testing and the bidding, it feels like the marketer is just sitting back watching.
That is a very common fear, but the reality is quite different. AI and live data tracking do not replace human expertise. They provide a bird's-eye view that amplifies it. Think of AI as the instrument panel in a highly advanced commercial aircraft.
Okay, walk me through the aircraft analogy.
That instrument panel is processing millions of data points a second. Wind speed, altitude, fuel efficiency. It provides a flawless view of the entire environment. It can tell you there's turbulence ahead.
Right.
But the instrument panel cannot fly the plane on its own in a way that accounts for sudden, unpredictable human factors. You still need an expert pilot like Hassan to read those instruments, understand the unique terrain of the Los Angeles market, and decide the strategic direction.
So the AI spots the invisible patterns in the data, but the human understands the context of the real world to execute the strategy.
Exactly. It empowers agencies to optimize campaigns on the fly. This is how they build long-term, customized partnerships with local businesses. It's based on data-driven success rather than guesswork.
It's about removing the friction between the data and the decision. So if we zoom all the way out and look at the entire blueprint we've discussed today, the ultimate formula for dominating competitive cities is pretty clear.
It takes work, but it's proven.
It takes the perfect blend of localized ads, an optimized Google business profile, seamless landing pages, and relentless AI-backed data tracking.
It's a tightly woven ecosystem. But if we project this forward, it leaves us with a truly fascinating idea to consider.
What's that?
Well, if AI and localized data tracking are making ads so perfectly tailored to our specific neighborhoods and our daily habits, will local search eventually evolve into predictive marketing?
Predictive marketing.
Yeah. Imagine a future where local businesses know exactly what you need, like a roof repair or a local coffee shop, before you even realize you need to type the search into Google.
That is wild to think about. The algorithm stops reacting to your searches and starts predicting your life. We went from a neon open sign on Ventura Boulevard to an algorithm that knows you need a coffee before you've even fully woken up.
It's the future of local search.
It really is. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. We highly encourage you to take a moment and look at how your own local businesses show up online. Are you walking your customers into a well-lit, trustworthy store, or are you pointing them to a locked door with the wrong address? Keep asking those questions, and we'll see you next time.